State Representative Janelle Bynum currently represents House District 51, which includes parts of southern Multnomah County and northern Clackamas County, including Happy Valley. The 2018 incident where a constituent called police while Bynum was out stumping for votes made her a household name. The Clackamas County Democrat, who owns several McDonald's franchises, is running for the legislature again, this time in the 39th House District. Representative Janelle Bynum, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you for having me.
Well, how did that incident from 2018 affect you?
Well, I think it led to some really good legislation, and that was particularly empowering for me and for the community. We were able to pass legislation that made it illegal for people to summon the police if you weren't doing anything wrong, but it was just based on, their desire to profile you or humiliate or embarrass you. And so something good came out of it.
Were you surprised at all the attention that incident got?
I was, because I was really focused on how kind the deputy was and how surprised, well, I wouldn't say surprised, how I knew my number was going to get called one day, but I didn't expect it that day. And so it was definitely a life-shifting moment for me.
You currently represent House District 51, but you're running for
Mhm.
House District 39. Explain the change, and does District 39 cover any of the same area that 51 did?
So the new district doesn't include any of Multnomah County, and East Portland had my heart and will always have my heart. And the old district had half of Happy Valley. Now it includes most of Happy Valley and now goes west to Milwaukee and then south to the northern parts of Oregon City. So it includes Milwaukee, North Clackamas, Happy Valley, and Oregon City.
Does this change anything for you in terms of your campaign strategy?
Well, I think the politics in Clackamas are a little bit different from the politics in Multnomah County. At the end of the day, the people in House District 39 don't really care what stripe you wear. They just care about, housing and schools and affordability. They are very interested in people who can move the needle for them.
You're running against Republican Corey Haynes, who's campaigning on a law and order agenda. What's your stance on police funding and dealing with crime?
Well, first of all, I support the police. And second of all, I'm the granddaughter of a police officer and have the endorsements of the Oregon chiefs and sheriffs, as well as former Superintendent Travis Hampton. At the end of the day, what voters have been telling me is that they support safe communities. They want to make sure that I'm tackling the big issues. And while some people have their heads turned to dealing in rhetoric, what I've been doing is having community conversations on big threats like fentanyl. That I think is where people need to be paying very close attention to and making sure that that threat does not grow in our community.
Law enforcement sources do say that drug addiction in Oregon as a whole is on the rise, as is drug-related crime. Do you think Measure 110, which decriminalized most drugs and directed users into drug treatment programs, should continue, or should it be repealed?
At the end of the day, I think what's important for us to recognize is that addiction services, housing, education, all of that goes together. And the work that needs to be done at the legislature is A, making sure agencies and organizations are held accountable for the dollars that we've been sending to them, and that the money gets to the people, the heroes on the ground that are doing that very difficult work. One thing I will point out is that we wrote a bill last session um, for adding mental health counselors. And so, what we want to do is attack the root causes of substance abuse and addiction rather than, spreading blame in other places. It really is going to take the work on the ground to do that.
Do you think Measure 110 has been successful in the initial rollout, or do you think that there were some flaws in that?
I don't think legislating by the ballot inherently produces great legislation. I think the legislative process tends to be a little more deliberative and in the weeds. And I think more people, 90 people, have to approve it, and we tend to get better legislation that way. So if I had to do it all over again, I would love for that to come from the legislature.
The legislature and the governor approved millions of dollars to support women coming to Oregon seeking legal abortions after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Do you agree with Oregon welcoming women from states like Idaho, for example, to get abortions here?
I support Oregon's unrestricted access to abortion care for any person that needs it. And um, I think it's important for women to have a say in their health care and not to be blocked by people who have never experienced um, the, the difficulty of a pregnancy. Um, it's an extremely personal issue for women. And I am unapologetically pro choice.
When,
And I
uh,
don't think,
oh, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
finish your statement.
I, I don't think there should be any criticism when a woman chooses to have her own healthcare decisions remain within her control.
When Tina Kotek stepped down as House Speaker to run for governor, you were mentioned as a candidate to assume the role of Speaker of the House. It went to Democrat Dan Rayfield of Corvallis. If you're reelected to the House, is the speakership something that you still want to pursue?
My goal in the state legislature and in government in general is to apply pressure to the system. And I think that's what I've done. Um, I have to get through the election of House District 39, and that's where my eyes are focused right now. But I will continue to apply pressure up and down every level of government, within the state house, within the city, county governments, everywhere you see Janelle Bynum will be applying pressure.
Briefly, we've got about a minute left, but what would be your number one priority in your district should you be elected?
I think the people of House District 39 have spoken very clearly to me. I've been knocking hundreds of doors, and what they really want are to make sure that they don't have to choose between housing, food, their medications. They want me to protect abortion access. They want me to attack the root causes of housing, houselessness, and homelessness. And they want to make sure that I protect small businesses and help them thrive and get the labor force that they need.
Representative Janelle Bynum, thank you for joining me on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.